So we're here with Jaclyn today, just wanting to talk a little bit about her real estate journey overall. So talk a little bit about how long you've been licensed.
Okay.
Like the start.
I got my license about 7 years ago. Yeah, so it's been about 7 years. For the first 5 years, it was really just working part-time.
So talk about like part-time.
So part-time for me, I have 4 kids. Husband's a firefighter. So, when he's home, he's home. When he's not, he's not. So it's, a lot of times of being like a single mom and the kids were younger. So I could only work part-time.
Sure.
And I still like to be involved with sports, and I'm involved in the school. So that's always been my number one focus. So for me, part-time was, 2 or 3 deals a year, maybe, a friend of a friend or a cousin. I mean, that kind of stuff.
So mainly it was coming just from your sphere.
It was coming from my sphere mostly.
Yeah.
I would get, some random person from like an open house or something. But for the majority, it was people I knew or people that knew me. Personally.
She has a gigantic sphere, by the way,
Yes.
just in case that's like.
Yeah, I have a big family, a lot of friends. So yeah, big sphere.
Yeah.
A lot to pull from, which has been great. So yeah, the first 5 years, it was really just looked like that, and I loved it. I would come in here when I needed to, when I needed help with things. But then about 2 years ago, really right during middle of COVID, kind of
Needed to leave the house, did you?
needed to leave the house. It was like I needed a place to go. They're all home. I got to come to the office. I'm working full time then.
Sorry, I gotta
figure it
go.
out. Yeah, figure it out.
Find your own sandwich.
Exactly.
See you.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
I think it's been a little over 2 years, and I would technically call myself a full time agent.
Yeah. So last year,
Yeah,
you
last
sold
year
8
I think
homes.
I did about 8 deals. Closed 8 deals last year. Yes.
And this year you've already closed 6 in the first 2 months.
Yeah, this year I closed 6, and I will say 2 of those were a person selling a home and then buying a home.
Right.
So it was really only 2 parties, but 4 houses within the 2
Right.
parties, which that process can be difficult in itself.
But not impossible.
Super stressful.
Definitely not impossible, but it's just having a good team and coming up with a plan with your seller and being realistic is the key.
So talk a little bit about growing up at Caliber.
Yes, so Caliber's been my only home since I've been licensed 7 years, and I'm not very mature, but I definitely have grown.
So we're all like, it's all good.
It's been great. I don't see myself going anywhere else. I have been approached, to talk to different agencies, different brokerages, but for me, the small niche and the small boutique style that we have here is really what I love. I love that we're in the circle. I love that we're in this part of Orange County. And yeah, it's just been great. I've gotten a lot of training, gotten to go to some different Tom Ferry events, which have been helpful with just like my growth. And I just don't, real estate there's a different path for every agent. It doesn't always look the same. For me, those first couple years, those first 5 years, being part-time was really all I could handle.
Yeah.
And that was fine. And I was happy with it. And you guys were happy with it and comfortable with it. But then, as it's just, my kids are older and it's time for me to do what I want to do. And I love this job.
Yep.
I will never do anything else. This is just really what I'm passionate about. And, I love it. Doesn't feel like work, which is kind of nice.
Right.
Yeah.
People
That's when
always
you know you're
say,
working.
yeah, you got to find something that doesn't feel like work. And I just never thought that would happen for me.
Sure.
And it really has. And I just couldn't be happier.
Well, we're happy to have you here.
Yeah.
Feels like family for sure.
Definitely.
And I think I'm very proud to be her emotional support person. So I would like to
is.
take a little bit of credit for that.
My
I
emotional
am
support
not.
human.
I am
No,
not.
she's not. No, definitely not. I call her
We
for
have
certain
different
things, and I
roles.
call her for certain things, and it's just
That's why we're
the
all
yin and the
here.
yang. It works out. Oh man, it's perfect.
But mostly, I think we wanted to talk about like how the
Progression.
job itself.
Yeah.
It can look however you need it to look.
Right.
Right. Like you need 1 transaction, great. You need 20.
Right.
Get there.
Yeah.
Right? I think
I
that's
think-
really what
Yeah, and I think I've learned that only really in the last couple of years. Like,
Sure.
it's not it doesn't have to be the same for everybody.
No,
and
absolutely not.
It's what you make of it.
Yes.
And
it gives you back what you give to it, right?
Exactly. And there's just so much things to be happy about, like with the job that we're doing. And it's very stressful, and it's has its moments, but there's more positive than negative. And I think also just being in an office like this really helps too.
And I think systems and
Yes.
foundation, like coming into it kind of slowly so you can actually kind of grow into those systems so
Right.
you are able to utilize them, I think is part of a key part of your success.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I'm not the quickest to
But that
learn,
doesn't matter.
new technology.
That's part of my point.
But
though.
yeah,
it's like you don't have to be perfect at every system.
Right.
You don't. You need a team behind you that can support you, and then you need to be able to use them to your advantage. Like
Right.
however you need to use them. The same as the job itself.
Yes.
However you need to use it, you use it. The
Yeah.
same as the systems. You use it the way you need it.
Yes.
Not the way everyone else uses it.
Right.
Not the way. I'm not saying you use it
No,
differently
I
than
think-
everyone. I'm just saying like everybody kind of like.
Yeah. I think I learned a couple years ago, I would get overwhelmed with new stuff.
Sure.
Because there's constantly new information, new technology, new programs. Sharice, yes, yeah, it's new. And it's great, but like I think I had to like kind of narrow it in and just say,
Yes.
you know what, I'm gonna do these 4 things and I'm gonna do them the best of my
Right.
capability. And once I have those 4 things,
Because
like,
then you can feel
honed
confident
in
about
and
those
confident
things.
about those things. Now I might try and
Yes.
add this one in. And I think rather than trying to do it all at
Yes.
once is too overwhelming for me.
Yep.
So I think knowing yourself too and how you work and what makes you move forward and everything, I think is
And what feels right.
beneficial. Yeah, what feels right. And I just I can't get overwhelmed with
Yeah.
all of it. It's
Right.
just
You pick and
it's
choose.
Pick and choose what works for me, and it's whatever I'm doing is working. I don't know.
It is.
I'm happy.
It definitely is.
Yeah,
Well, we're happy you're here. We're happy to have you.
yeah. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here for a long time.